Good afternoon, folks. I'm FW or Evia. I'm very happy to be here and in the company of a lovely male lion. Yeah, we came out this afternoon trying to find him again. He's fast asleep, doing what lions do best, sleeping most of the day. Afternoon, Lou. I am very happy to be back at Safari Live. It's something different to what I normally do, so yeah, very excited for the time being and for the time to spend with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Is there any of the viewers that can help me with our identification on this male lion? I think it's one of the Birmingham males, but yeah, I don't know these males so well. We are going to link over to James. Enjoy. Welcome back. Our male lion is still fast asleep. While we've got the screen on his nose there, if you look, it's still pink in color, which means he's not that old yet. My best guess, these guys are around 5 years old. See that pinkish color? The older they get, the darker it gets. Also, quite a bit of scarring on that nose and a bit higher up. Look at that pink scar, still healing. And then under his eye, there's a fresher wound. Probably from a fight between other males or even a bit of dominance fighting between the two, well, the males in their coalition. Peacefully sleeping. Good sign to look for with lions to see if they're relaxed or not. If you look at that paw turned around and the other one on top of the other one facing down, but that's no sign of aggression. When both face down to the ground, and normally the back legs will be under the body as well and kind of facing in your direction, you'll be in a fair bit of trouble. But this guy has got no intention of doing anyone any harm anytime soon. Debbie, you are asking about a memorable lion encounter I've had. This is probably not the best story, but yeah, one of my first lion encounters I had on foot. Everyone says don't run. I ran. Yeah, we were tracking a male lion, and out of nowhere this guy just jumped up and came at us. Luckily it was still far off and the vehicle was quite close, so I got back into the car without any hassle. But yeah, not something to be proud of, and definitely a big lesson learned there because it kept coming. doesn't look like he's too full. Maybe later this evening he might start moving, maybe try and find his brothers or the members of his coalition, and maybe they'll see if they can't get a meal. And there's not too heavy breathing. Looks quite hungry. Well, not massively hungry, but it's on its way. Linda, you would like to know a little bit more about me. I grew up in the northwest province of South Africa, which is kind of west of Johannesburg, about 3 hours west of Johannesburg, on a farm. So I've lived outdoors all my life, haven't spent too much time in the city, which I'm quite fortunate about. I've been in the Lowveld in this region of South Africa for the last 6 years or so, guiding in different reserves, and at the moment I'm freelance guiding, so I spend a bit of time all over the place in the Kruger National Park, in the Sabi Sands, and just the general area. Looked like there's a fly bothering him, just chasing that off. So whilst sleeping like this the whole day, with the sun out like it is now, he would have been chasing the shade a little bit. So every time the sun moved the shade, as the day went on, he would have moved around this little shaded area of his and stayed nice and cool. They try and sleep as much as they can during these hot days and hot times of the day to keep their energy levels and just try and minimize using any unnecessary energy for any movement that's not needed, so that they can have everything that they do need for hunting. Milton, you're asking if he's on his own or if there's any other lions sleeping around. From what I can gather, it looks like he's on his own. He's doing his own thing. He might have split off from the coalition to maybe patrol a part of their territory that not everyone has been to in a while. There has been a little bit of rain, so marking territory would be important for these guys at the moment. So yeah, he should get together with the coalition shortly. Aaron, in New Zealand, you're asking about coalitions that I've spent a bit of time with. Yeah, there are two specific ones that I've had the privilege of spending some time with. The one coalition, unfortunately, they are no more. They lost their territory to two other males, and so the ones, they were called the Sand River males. They were three brothers that took over the area that I worked in a couple of years ago. Took over from another male that was called the Kruger male. they didn't spend too much time in the area. They weren't too successful. They had one set of cubs, but the cubs unfortunately didn't make it. And then two other males came in, and they're called the Charleston males. They are in the southern Sabi Sands, and at the moment they are the dominant ones. One of them is very identifiable by a canine that's loose, that's sitting loose in its lip. Yeah, beautiful male lions. They've been quite successful. I think the last update that I got from them, their pride has grown to 16 lions. It was the two of them, 5 adult females, and the rest were all cubs. So hopefully they'll keep growing and have a successful time at the reign of that area. We're going to link back to James for an update. So omgaan. What are we going to do? Let's try this. Careful. Just hold on, it might get a bit bumpy. Look at that. Let's just try and work an angle here with the sun. Oops. Look at that setting. Male lion and the sun setting in the background. Awesome. That's a beautiful view. Beautiful view. Awesome. Don't be shy. Why are you closing your eyes now? Look how the backlight on the mane from the sun. If I was a good photographer, I would have been taking $1 million pictures at the moment. Just look at those eyes. When they look at you, it looks like they look straight through you. Little fire burning inside there. Sylvia, you're asking if there's any lion encounters that I remembered not to run. Yes, there's plenty that I had the privilege of viewing them on foot and didn't have to run. On some backpack trails that I did, we've had lions coming to camp at night sniffing tents, and then you learn to lay quite still. Yeah, and then other times I've had them growl at me and run at me a little bit, but all beautiful sightings without anything going wrong, luckily. But it is quite a scary feeling when you've got this beast running at you, sounding like a massive Rolls-Royce engine running off, taking off, coming at you with the speed of light. Lions move at around 22 meters a second, so you can imagine from this state that he's in now, running at you at full tilt. It happens very quickly. Oh, look at that yawn. Look at those teeth. There you can see what I'm talking about, about the eyes. Look at that. Crazy. Just look at that mark under his eye. Shame. It's not really a place he can groom himself too much to heal, so it might take a bit longer, might get irritated by flies. Really the king of the beasts. You can see his ears are moving, constantly scanning around, looking and listening out for his brothers, maybe to call him, try and get in contact with him again. Dan, you're asking if there are any animals that I'm a little bit nervous around. In the vehicle, I wouldn't say there are many, except for maybe a elephant bull that's in must, or a cow with a very young calf that might not be happy with your presence. On foot, it's a bit of a different story. Lone buffalo bulls, hippo out of water, hippo in water, in a year like this where water is low, shallow pools, they tend to be quite aggressive and quite possessive about the watering sources and waterholes that they do have. One thing that I believe though is not to always have fear for the animals, but rather respect. I think respect and knowing what they can and could do and treating them like that is more important than being fear. Fear has a tendency of making you do stupid things like run, like that first lion encounter I had. There we go. That's what I was looking for. How awesome was that? He didn't go full out. I wonder why. I think it might have been just trying to get one of his brothers' attention. And he's scanning around, listening out. Maybe they're calling back. So it was somewhere between a roar and a contact call, in my opinion. Somewhere around us there's a black-bellied bustard calling. That cork, champagne cork being pulled out. I can't see it though, it's quite thick where we are with this line. Yeah. It is amazing how quiet things get as night's setting in, and then shortly nighttime all the noises will come out. There we go. Up and at it. Time to do his thing. Let's see, maybe he'll go and mark territory. Let's follow him for a bit, see what he gets up to. How cool was that? Hold on. Where is he going? See if we can navigate through this area. Amazing colors coming through with the sunset. Oh, look at those clouds. A beautiful amber color. While I'm finding this guy again and repositioning, we're going to link back to James for an update. There we go, we've got him scent marking. Did you see how he was scratching his feet and urinating on that little bush at the same time? Something interesting happened while we were following him now. He walked past 2 leopard tortoises. I wonder if those two are mating or what's happening there. Oh, nice surprise. He just sniffed at them for a bit and then moved on, carrying on with his scent marking. There he's rubbing his head through a bush as well. It's also part of his scent marking. Just find a way through here. We're going to be with him now. Just hold on, he's roaring again. Awesome was that. You could hear that was a much louder and deeper roar. Just going to reposition again. We are with a... We are with some other vehicles, so we might have to share a bit of the view with him. We'll just leapfrog around each other and give each other a chance to have a good look at him. The setting of this lion is crazy. Colors galore and just the beauty of Africa personified almost. Just gonna get in behind here. Oh, he's disappearing. I don't know how much further we're going to be able to follow him. VM, do you know how this block looks? Is he going to the dam? So maybe we should loop around and go and wait for him at the dam. Maybe he'll come through for a drink. I think it's a good option. We are back. We found the lion. He's just come through. He's sitting on the dam wall. He's just gone down. Let's just reposition the vehicle, get a nice view of him. See how his head is lifted kind of into the wind, listening and smelling, seeing if there's any reaction from the other males. He was calling as he came out, so we should get another roar from him soon. VM, can you quickly go in on the mane, on that leaf? No, it's not a leaf. It's a baby chameleon. Have you ever? I've never seen that before. How cool is that? It probably got onto the mane. It probably got onto the mane when it was marking and putting his face through a branch. How cool is that? Imagine having to tell that story. I hitched a ride on a male lion's mane. Shame the poor little guy must be so scared though. Flap-necked chameleon. I can't believe my eyes. I wonder if the lion knows he's there. There's another vehicle joining us. I just want to point this out to them. It is spectacular. Hey, Bishop. Wavona the main, eh? There's Mompimpa and Lunfan inside the main. Just behind the Ntleve. Boga gahle with the gogolos. That is unbelievable. Just look at those little guys' eyes. Look at the eyes moving around. Well, the one thing, it might get a bit of food there. There might be a lot of ticks and stuff inside there, so it's not a bad place to go for a ride. To think I nearly wrote that off as just a leaf being stuck in there. I think I'm out of words. It is probably one of my most memorable sightings. A chameleon on a lion. Not probably, definitely. See how he's using his tail? The tail's moving around, almost holding onto some of the mane as he moves around to just give extra balance. You see it's going darker. Look at those black spots. It might be getting annoyed. Looks like there's a tick somewhere just in front of that chameleon, just below it, behind the ear. The ear's closed it now. Drago, you are asking what would happen to the chameleon if the lion found it. I don't think it's going to be a very pretty end to the chameleon, unfortunately. I think the lion might get a massive fright if this guy walks right over onto his forehead in front of his eyes. So he might get a hard slap. But if it just falls off and the lion doesn't hear or see it, it might get away. But I don't think it's going to be the prettiest end for this poor little guy. Did that little chameleon catch something now? Did you see the tongue go out? just saw some movement. Maybe it was the front leg. You see how that comedian is looking around? Almost looks like his eyes are out of its sockets. It sits on the skull itself, or further out, allowing it to have each eye have a 180-degree view around it. It's checking out the ear as the ear moved. Do you see the sudden movement of the ear with the male? I think he might have heard something. Might be other lions roaring far off. It's too far for us to hear, but he might have picked it up. We'll see what he does next. Back to scanning. I think what it might be hearing, it sounds like there's impala on the other side of the dam that's alarm calling. Jen, you are saying this is a once-in-a-lifetime sighting. You are absolutely right. This is incredible. It is crazy to think that this little guy got end up on the lion's mane. And just to think about all the other stuff we had earlier, the roaring and the activity, and the leopard tortoises. It's been a fun-filled activity, full afternoon for this lion. Interaction with small creatures. Normally we're all looking at lions hunting buffalo, if that's what we want. But I think this was crazier and more amazing than any of those. I'm going to just move the vehicle quickly. Well, if I move the vehicle, we're going to lose the chameleon. But to get a shot of the face, let's rather see if he turns around. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a lovely afternoon. It has been lovely. Have a lovely evening or have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you in the morning again. Thank you.